Sometimes when somebody has passed away, there's a temptation to saint them. And I don't mind sainting Doug. In fact, it would be my pleasure. What a marvelous crowd. What a marvelous turnout for Doug, by the way, as I get my bearings now. But, you know, it's been pointed out occasionally on a Facebook post or whatever that you know, Doug could have a temper about certain things. But you know what I said in a note to Tina was that it did not dominate his personality. It was something in him. It was something that would sometimes bubble to the top. But the dominant part was just this amazing outreach to the rest of the world and to people and to friends. Doug, I consider Doug one of my best friends, if not my best friend. And I think there are a lot of people here who feel that way. And Miriam, I noticed in an online video that Tom Soder shot, I think hit it perfectly when she said that so many people felt like he was their really close friend. And so while I don't think I was necessarily Doug's best friend, he was my best friend. And I'm perfectly happy with that. It's just because he was so accessible. He was there for people. He was in your neighborhood, he'd call you. I was in his neighborhood, I'd call him. And you just felt comfortable saying things to him, being with him, going on adventures. I mean, in the improviser realm, and I know there are people here from all of Doug's worlds, and there were several of those worlds. In the improviser realm, Doug really embraced the now. He just, whatever show he was on, there were actors I knew who like, oh, I hate working for this person. Or this client is difficult, da da da. And Doug was just like, I'm going to be on my bike and I'm going into the mountains, and I'll be in the pool. And the first thing we do when we would get to a corporate show is walk the grounds and just embrace wherever he was, or similarly whoever he was with. And I thought it was a remarkable quality. And even circling back to the grumpy thing, I mean, really, it was just like, that would pass in a second, and then he was mentoring, he was doing peer-to-peer, he was listening to someone, he was helping someone, he was caroling for men at halfway houses. I'm going to read what I wrote to Tina. Dear Tina, I love Doug. I trusted him, I valued him. I enjoyed his company. He was one of my best friends. He made me laugh, he was a great listener, he was great to listen to. His complaints about his upbringing or political issues were always brief and paled in comparison to his positive actions to make the world a better place, for instance, peer-to-peer mentoring. He always made time for me. How he did that, I don't know, given how many friends wanted to be with him and how many circles he traveled in. He was smart, he was curious, he was ever in motion. We performed numerous corporate shows together. We bicycled together. We saw theater together. Doug encouraged me to buy a high-quality bike, and then it helped me choose and fit it. We ate meals together. We floated in pools across the world and flew on trapezes together. He got a Jewish person to sing Christmas carols. Because bringing good cheer to the men of the halfway houses and bringing friends together is religion at its best. And because it was Doug's party. It was always Doug's party, not just on Christmas. He was at the center playing the piano, surrounded by friends and singing. He was giving a tour, surrounded by tourists, listening. He was on stage, surrounded by audiences, laughing. And even at the end, he was surrounded by friends, some still singing, all of them hoping, wanting more time with him. Because, like me and like you, they loved him. I wrote this part to Tina, but it applies to everyone here. Thank you for all the joy you brought to his life. My condolence on your loss. You know, I know when I listen to other people today, I will end up crying at some point. But, you know, celebrating Doug is both tremendously sad and tremendously happy. I think he lived a pretty remarkable life, both the scope of the lives he touched. Suzanne Hebner at one point said that the hospital was like It's a Wonderful Life, like the end scene, and I agree with that, with just everybody coming in and saying, you did this for me, you did that, and everybody being there. And I had something happen in a moment of marvelous coincidence that is not really shocking, because when somebody's on your mind, the right image will come, will appear, and it did. I was flipping channels a few days ago in the holiday season, and The Wizard of Oz came on, and the wizard was giving the various gifts to the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Lion, and he tells the Tin Man, and it's like, oh, there's Doug. He tells the Tin Man, a heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others. And if that's the case, Doug had quite a heart, and there was a lot of love, and I certainly love him. Thank you, everybody, for listening.